Hey, what's up, everybody? Appreciate you joining us today. We'll just give another minute or two to let some people kind of file in and fill out, and then we'll kick things right off in about another minute or two. Alrighty. Let's get this thing rolling. So, thank you again for everybody for joining us for this week. This episode of You Heard. I think last week was pretty well received and a really good start, and we're hoping to just build off of that and just really make this a weekly thing and just give the community insight into everything that's going on and cover some major themes and help you learn a little bit more about the project and what makes the project unique, and then give you that chance to ask all your burning questions. So just want to kick things off. I'll just kind of we did some more in-depth introductions last week, but I'm just gonna go around the horn and just let everybody know uh you know who everyone is that's on the call here, and then I'll probably do a quick you know 30-second to 1 minute overview of what we talked about last week, and then we'll start to move into the topics for this week. So, on the call right now, we have AE and Wally, which are, part of the Champions program. Uh, and we also have Bobby and Mr. Mister from the team on the call, and then myself, also part of the Champions program. So, really happy to just be here today and able to spend some time with you guys and really walk through some of this stuff. And hopefully you continue to learn more about the project, continue to learn a little bit more about the team and some of the champs, and hopefully maybe inspires you to get involved yourself. And that's sort of going to be the topic of today. So before I get into it, let me just give a quick rundown of what we talked about last week, just for some of the people that might have missed the conversation or that might be new to the community. We've had some new community members this week. So kind of what were the key takeaways from last week? uh, Basically, we talked about the ERC 677 and that token swap and what that meant and some of the advantages to that swap. And then also the new distribution schedule and how the focus of that is on bootstrapping the product, whereas the original distribution schedule bootstrapped the community and really just, you know, bootstrapping the product with more, shall we say, degenerate capital that's chasing higher yields as the development team kind of builds out those institutional grade features and moves toward the final vision of the project. And then, you know, the top of stack position that Y-axis has, it kind of allows us to be flexible and plug into other aggregators and just remain nimble and just ride the winners and leverage to the growth of the entire space. And we also talked a little bit about our strategies for attracting institutional capital and moving a bit into the great harvest and kind of the some of the eligibility around that. And we kind of kicked off that discussion this week in the forum. So those are kind of the main points that we ran through last week. And then now to kind of kick things off for this week, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Champions program, kind of what is it, who's involved, what's the bounty board, how can I get involved, those types of questions. So looking to hopefully answer that. And in addition, we'll look to talk about the latest output from the bounty board, which is the dashboard, the analytics dashboard put together by Shadow. So we'll talk about that a bit. So really excited to share this all with you guys, and we'll look to open it up to questions after that. So let me kick things off by just asking Mr. Mister, what's kind of the goal of the Champions program? What is the motivation behind it? Why are we doing this? Uh, you know, just give a little thoughts on that.
Yeah, thanks, Cold Summer. Yeah, the Champions program is really the heart of everything we do, right? Because we know that community is the most important asset to any project, right? We're gonna all come together and succeed as a group, right? And we're really focused on community because, you know, from the very get-go on Y-Axis, it was always launched and run as a community project, right? It's Y-Axis is a community-owned project without question. It is community-run without question. And we wanted to make sure that we're able to capture just that magic of the community, right? Because there's so much capability, there's so much talent out there that what a shame if we weren't able to leverage the power of all of you to help us succeed. And really, I mean, that starts with not just the champions program, but the team itself has come together around that community ethos. It's a community source team. We are all originally just investors and members of this project. Okay, so we wanted to make sure that we can extend that idea to everyone. And as 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 far as what is out there in terms of capability and what we need, that is kind of where the bounty board is coming from. That is an incentivized aspect of the champions program to essentially compensate folks for really cool work, really cool contributions that you can do, that you can contribute, to use that word again. And really, I think the most important thing to get out of the champions program is this idea that it is open to everybody. Okay, we're looking for all kinds of capabilities. You don't have to just be a developer. We're looking for writers and designers and all across the board. We need help, right? And don't please, I think it's really important for I think everybody to understand that our approach is not so much on resumes. We don't care what your CV really looks like as far as you know, what you've done in the past as much as what you're able to contribute to the future, right? We're not a bunch of suits with fancy LinkedIn profiles here, right? We're more about looking at what the value you can bring to the what is the value you can bring to the project, and let us use that ethos and democratize access to not just this project, but also to DeFi. So it's a bit of, hey, how do you want to turn your passion and your skills into a contribution for the project? And along the way, we'd love to incentivize you. You know, we'd love to compensate you for that hard work. Okay, and and that is kind of, you know, what we believe is going to not only help move the project forward, help us accomplish all the objectives and the goals that we have, but it's also going to create a bit of a moat for us, right? Getting this strong, super engaged, passionate community that's all rallying around the idea that, you know, we all hold, we're all going to make it together, right? That is at the heart of everything we do. So yeah, that's kind of where the champions program came from, what we're trying to do with it, and really most importantly, the ethos behind it and how we are embracing you, the community, to help us make this as big as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, thank you very much, Mr. Mister, for those comments. And just to build off of that, Y-axis is just really based on the mission of democratizing access to DeFi and really just trying to make this set and forget available to everyone. I mean, I think our front end, our UI right now is probably one of the best in the space, and just trying to make everything as accessible. It's, set and forget strategy, and just really bringing that mission of the project and making sure that the community engagement stays consistent with that, and staying true to the roots of the project as community owned and community run, because a nimble, incentivized and engaged community is going to give the project such resilience and long-term moat that no closed door LinkedIn profile project can ever compete with, because we're in touch with the community, in touch with the users, and in touch with what the space is doing, and we can just stay way more nimble. So that's kind of just where we're hoping to help take the program. And so salute the team for really including that, and the original distribution proposal that was passed pretty handily by the community. And then from there, myself, what we're gonna go around here and just talk a little bit more about kind of what we've been up to. But myself, AE, and Wally have been kind of manning the champions program and kind of running that for the most part so far. But obviously, like we mentioned, happy to add capabilities as needed. So just to give you a quick background on what I've been up to, so I've been organizing the You Heard conversations and preparing the content agendas each week and really managing that process, and then also behind the writing of the weekly Yaks, which we saw kick off last week, and really just having that be a big highlight for the community. And if there's one thing that you want to read and catch up with the project for that week, it's that article, because it's going to give you the rundown and the highlights from the week, and whether that be on the development side or community side or project stats, or just giving you that rundown, that snapshot for the week. So with that, I'll move it over to AE, who's really been doing a great job handling the community engagement side.
Yeah, it's been really fun, and like Mr. said, it's one way to get a lot of community engagement going. But I've also been really busy with all your DMs, guys. So the next one we're going to streamline it a little bit and use a form. The main thing we have coming up is, of course, the results of the quiz this week. I should have already posted, but I didn't want to interfere with You Heard too much, so I'll be posting them in a few hours. And then we're going to do another button hunt because the last one was really successful. We got a lot of upvotes on Zerion, on Zepra, on DBank. But we still want more, of course. I mean, we still want to get that visibility out week to week so we can get listed on those third-party apps. So that's what we'll be doing next, especially for all you new members. Another chance to earn a little bit of Yaks by contributing. And as far as the quiz goes, I think it was a little bit too easy because most of you guys got every question right the first time around. So the next one, I'm going to make it a little bit more complicated, a little bit more challenging, and make you search our documents as well, just so you can learn a little bit more about the product if you haven't already dived into those. Besides this, yeah, you've seen me a lot in the community, but I've also been doing some work behind the scenes, and there's definitely going to be a lot more coming from me in terms of community engagement. Just so be aware of that. And then I think Wally has a lot of things to say as well.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Wally. So I'm probably not so active on Discord. So I'm probably sort of behind the scenes helping run the operations. So key responsibilities include we've got a lot of initiatives, a lot of work streams that we're sort of working sort of behind the scenes. So that's sort of my responsibility to sort of keep everyone honest and sort of keep it going. I'm also responsible for the bounty board and also engaging with the bounty board. So anything that comes in, but also dealing with vendors, suppliers, contractors from that side of it. I just want to briefly touch on the bounty board. So I think Cole Summers have mentioned it, so has Mr. Mister. So with the bounty board, I just want to sort of highlight and focus. So firstly, thank you everybody that sort of responded and want to sort of get involved. That's great. We've had a lot of interest, so we're just going through that. The other thing I want to sort of mention is you guys are the sort of eyes and ears for the community. So there's things that are probably not on the bounty board. You guys have probably got great ideas. You're probably in other sort of Discord and other sort of communities. If you've got ideas of things that we should be doing, or if you've got sort of skill sets, or even if you don't, or there's something that you've seen somewhere that we should be doing, reach out to me via Discord, via email. Let me know if there's something that you want to sort of own. If we think that that's useful, we'll give you the responsibilities to sort of own it, and then we'll reward you for it. So just because things are not on the bounty board that you think you've got good ideas, come to us, speak to us, let us know, because and also be our eyes and ears. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, A and Wally, for that. And I think it just really goes down to, again, leveraging the power of the community and the fact that if we're just a nimble, engaged community, that we're all going to reap the rewards here. So it's just, we'll always be able to outwork and outmaneuver any other project out there if we just, stay engaged. And so far, we're just doing an absolutely great job with that. So really appreciate all the work on the community side, and then all the work that Wally and A have been doing as well. So with that, I wanted to kind of touch on the first major output from the bounty board, which is something that's notable that we announced this week. It's the Y-axis analytics dashboard. And so I caught up with Shadow this week to just ask them a few questions and see if they would share a few words of the community. Shadow was the one that created the analytics dashboard, so I'm just going to go through and kind of share Shadow's words that they had for the community, and then they also kind of left an open-ended question in the community at the end that I'd like to pose. And if you want to just add your comments at the end in the You Heard channel, you can definitely go for that. So first question for Shadow was what drew you to Y-Axis and made you decide to contribute? And Shadow said, the fact that I saw an eager team that wanted to get the community involved and invested in the project, with all the contests and treasure hunts in Discord, as well as an organized approach to community bounties via the Champions program. So again, just really nice to see some type of validation for our efforts here, and hoping that this structure and this incentivization can continue to reap rewards over time. And then second question I asked Shadow was, what should the community know about the dashboard and how can they use it to their benefit? Because at the end of the day, we want to make this dashboard as useful for you, the community, as possible, and really make this a good resource for you. So, Shadow said, well, I definitely think that TVL is the hot metric at the moment because it will determine the volume of buybacks of the axis and thus buying pressure. Aside from that, the dashboard lets you precisely keep track of the circulating supply over time. And I think that's definitely a huge point on the circulating supply part, because CoinGecko doesn't really have the correct number at the time. So having that dashboard available to really check that is huge, I think. And then I also asked Shadow, last question was, what's your future vision for the dashboard? Are there any additional features you're excited about on the horizon? And so Shadow said, I'm really glad that you asked this, and I'd like to ask the community to suggest some metrics that they would find useful and like to see in the future. Everybody's different, and people use different models to determine the value of an asset. And because of that, I'm sure people will come up with metrics that hadn't even crossed my mind. So again, just really great to see, and great to see Shadow just really wanted to get feedback from you all on how to continue to iterate and improve the dashboard and make it most useful, and have you see the things that you'd like to see. So like I said, if you want to throw in the You Heard channel, if there's another project dashboard, for example, that has a cool metric that you like to track, or if there's a metric that you would like the dashboard to be able to track, happy to try to get that included. And he's happy to listen to community feedback and work with you all on that. So I thought that was really great, and just showed how engaged and thoughtful we have as a community. So with that, I just wanted to kind of move into a couple of the questions that were asked beforehand, and then after that we'll move into the live questions. So how many developers, this is from I am Kiko, how many developers are currently working on this project? And then their second question was, what is the biggest technical challenge the team is currently facing? So great, fantastic questions, by the way. Right now we have Transfer and Call, Get Gouda, Venrock, and then also some kind of contracted help. One of the names you might have seen in the GitHub channel was Yak Attack. But yeah, no, we definitely have a really solid, competent team, and they've been really working hard on the development side to respond to everybody's needs and requests, and additional features, and smooth out any bugs. And then Transfer and Call has really been working hard on V3 and canonical vaults, and making that an absolutely game-changing product. And then on the technical challenge side, one of the main technical challenges on Transfer and Call side that he was looking to overcome, and has in typical Transfer and Call style, has already figured out a solution for this, is lifting the ban on smart contract depositors while continuing to eliminate flash loan risk. So that was something that the current vault, it bans smart contract interactions to ensure the security of the vault and eliminate flash loan risk. But Transfer and Call is looking to kind of develop a solution for this, while also uh, develop a solution for this while also maintaining the same level of security. So, and he's already found a solution for that. And then on the front end side, I've had a lot more usage, which is a great thing. And so as a result, the app's, kind of seeing some growing pains there, but GetGood is working hard on performance optimization and rehaul to kind of overcome that. So those are the two main things, and both are, already being addressed, already have been addressed, and again shows the ability of the team to move quickly and address any challenges that come across the way. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Bobby.
No, not for now. I'll answer the next question though.
Alrighty, sounds good. So with that, we're gonna move into some of the questions that have been asked live. So we want to go through these. Definitely upvote the ones that you find good, because we're gonna try to keep this a little shorter than we ran last week. So want to just curate and kind of find the best questions. So definitely fire away and upvote the ones that you like the most. So Chad Candles asked, what is being done to avoid front running on the buybacks if the buys are large enough? I imagine it'll be tough to fend off the R bots out there. Keep up the good work. Bobby, do you have any thoughts on that? If not, I can take it.
Yeah, it is a tough one to counter that. Yeah, we can look into a solution to see if something's possible, but as you saw today, we just called the first harvest and we got front run slightly on that. So we can look to maybe break them down into successive smaller buybacks throughout a day, rather than doing one big buyback, which something can kind of easily target. So yeah, we'll look into it.
All right, great stuff. And then Kruor asked, I know you guys make a point about not giving specific dates, but do you feel as though everything's on track? Have there been no speed bumps? Yeah, I mean, right now we're on track for the era time horizon that we kind of laid out. We're working toward V3 in July with the launch of Era 2. So I don't know, Bobby, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, of course, there's been a ton of speed bumps. It's just about rolling with it. I mean, nothing goes smoothly in tech. I've been doing tech for like 4 years now, and things never go exactly to plan. So yeah, we just got to keep on finding solutions or react to it. For example, today we called our first harvest, like I mentioned, and it was actually still pointed at the YAX token. So we brought back YAX, which we can recover, by the way, of course, just through Uniswap. We can just transfer it to Yaxis. But that's just like a little example of what can go wrong. So yeah, the harvest was pretty good. We're buying back now at a rate of $1.1 million a month, which is pretty good. And that's just at this kind of $200 million TVL, which has only been going for a few days. So it didn't even account for the whole kind of 5 days that Metavolt has been alive. So yeah, it's pretty good. So you can imagine when we scale up to kind of 2 billion TVL, we can be buying back like $400,000 per day. And it's really that consistency or that continual buy pressure, which is pretty powerful for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So Flynn asked, are the devs working on any other projects apart from Y-Axis? I don't know if Bobby, you wanna take that one as well.
I was working multiple projects through to the end of February, and I stopped them all. I kind of wrapped them up to focus on Y-Axis solely full time. I know that some of the other guys are working on other projects as well at the moment, which are hard to get rid of because they're quite high profile projects that don't really want to leave. We can't just stop doing it. Yeah, for sure, people are putting in a lot of hours. And I think a good example of that is the GitHub repo, where we managed to get, I think we're number one now in DeFi on CoinGecko for number of commits going into GitHub. So we're doing pretty well. So even if people are working on another project, they're still crunching, still putting in the hours and being productive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you've seen how quick the team's been working. People had UI feedback, for GetGuda, and it was implemented within a day with that new UI feature. And then kind of same thing with displaying the APR and some of these other improvements that get good as dirty work to make. So definitely being super responsive and working hard, and definitely got some of the best talent in the industry for sure. And so there's another question here. From time to time, I find bounty actions already great, but will there be something like a board in the future where users can gain experience values based on their activity for y-axis and thus gain further advantages? I don't know if there's any specific visions for this, but I think if you've been active in the Discord, as a community member, then you've already gained some benefits, whether that be the kind of hunts that AE has organized, or like the Twitter bounty, and then also, just being early on the project in terms of getting staked early and in time before the crowd kind of found out about that. And as you gain more knowledge of the project, if you want to transfer that over to the bounty board, we're always we're looking to take that knowledge that people have about y-axis and really make sure that that's you're able to use that and leverage that for positive impact within the project. So
Yeah, I just add that we don't have all the ideas, so you guys in the community are usually part of 4 or 5 different communities. I mean, I've got 8 different servers I'm in on Discord, for example. So through that, you've probably seen lots of different things, and if you see something that's worked or is a really good idea and might work for us as well, then yeah, bring out the idea for sure. I think we can all kind of benefit from these kind of network effects, and you never know who's lurking in Discord. Or who can make a connection for you or has a cool idea. So it's always good to kind of talk about these things publicly on the channels or on the bounty board as well. We're happy to put things up.
yeah, absolutely. And then the next question from Money Mike is, are there any DeFi projects we are considering partnering up with at the moment, or are we still in the process of looking for good partnership opportunities? I can speak to that a little bit, and then Bobby can add as needed. Looking at potential partners for fiat on ramps for sure. Kind of anytime we plug in a strategy somewhere, we sort of inherently have a partnership with that community. Looking to maybe with the Badger community, once we kind of get into the Bitcoin vault, other similar things like that. But we're also using the bounty board as something. There is a card for a Trello card for that, where if you're able to help make a connection for us and that connection works out, you can be compensated for that. So I think really we want to incentivize that and really use the relationships that you guys have in other projects, because we know obviously everybody, it's DeFi, everybody's involved with different projects. So really, just if you have a connection, let's say a project treasury is like, we have $10 million in our treasury and we don't know where to put it. And if you just look at potentially, hey, y-axis has a vault that's giving 75% yield on stable coins, it's a great place to and make an introduction there, or a partnership opportunity. So really just using the value of the community and how wide of a reach we have, and continuing to expand that reach, and just staying nimble and identifying good partnership opportunities that suit the project.
Yeah, and I think I touched on it last week as well. We get a ton of offers actually from people wanting to kind of deposit or integrate into our vaults. We even had a business rep from Yearn Finance the other day in Discord asking about it, trying to go through their kind of partner program. And that's something that we also want to start up ourselves, to try and bring people in essentially to become users. So we have people like, we're talking to mining pools, for example, or project treasuries, like Cold Summer says, to try and add to that TVL. And at the same time, I'm reaching out to a lot of different financial partners. I'm constantly on the phone with them, essentially, which is really important to our future strategy, essentially tying up gateways for institutional capital later on, because I don't think that someone like BlackRock will directly deposit into the y-axis vault, but through like a separate DeFi fund or a crypto fund. Yeah, I think that's the way forward. So we are keen to kind of tie up those kind of future plans with them as well. In terms of like a technical goal, we're looking for partnerships. We're close to formalizing a partnership for someone to build us a Bitcoin bridge. which we think is going to be really good for our vaults in Era 2 as well. We've got pretty deep ties to the Link community, but not so much to Bitcoin. So this is something which is going to be really cool for us if we can tie that up, because it will lead to a lot of onboarding of kind of native Bitcoin through the bridge and into the vaults. So that would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be really awesome, Bobby, especially because a lot of people, they'd be a little bit more apt to use a bridge as opposed to any of the wrapped Bitcoin solutions. So that's absolutely immense. And then, so Timmy Toes asked, what is the benefit of allowing smart contract interaction if we have smart contracts interacting with us? This is a great question, by the way. Is it a concern that other projects might sit in front of us and farm us, thus removing our main selling point and avoiding people learning about us because they can get the benefit through another project? I could start with that, and then Bobby, if you want to add to my answer, I would say the main benefit is allowing it just opens up more capital sources and allows us to just drive higher TVL overall. That's really the main thing, and TVL is going to drive buybacks, and right now I think the key point for us is really staying top of stack. But at the end of the day, I think as long as we continue to drive TVL and drive buybacks and revenue back to token holders, I think that's really what's best for the community. But Bobby, if you have anything to add to that.
Yeah, it's an interesting question, because of course, if you allow other people to deposit into your vault, then they're going to be farming and dumping Yaxis tokens, which is not really what we want. So we've actually seen people in this space blacklist some other protocols to stop them from doing just that. So yeah, it's like the rules aren't really kind of set as to who can farm who. For example, I touched on the guy from Yearn Finance looking to see if they can deposit through our vaults, which should be interesting because they'll be depositing to us and then we'd be depositing back to them. So yeah, it's a kind of strange concept to see. But yeah, I mean, for example, what we're looking to do is maybe to whitelist specific partners in the future that will do that, rather than just leaving it open for anyone. We just have specific people which we allow to deposit into the vault, so at least we have some sort of control in it. So yeah, so I think that's how we're probably going to get around the issue.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, just having the community have a say there in terms of which projects we want to trust to kind of plug in, and I think the major development there is sort of TNC being able to to figure that out and offer the same level of security, which is for example, I mean, the other yield aggregators out there are susceptible to flash loan risk, whereas where our current state is not susceptible, and continuing to retain that security feature while opening up more pools of capital is just massive for the project. And then I think it'll be up to the community and the DAO to kind of figure out how we want to who we want to trust, who we want to approve as a whitelisted partner, and we'll figure out the best way to pursue that. But the great part is that's a good problem to have, I guess, put it that way. So another question, Big Poppy asked it, AE already answered, but I'll just kind of reiterate this one because this is one that we do get a decent amount. Is did anyone ask about the timeline for auto compounded staking? So that's an era 2 feature, which is July 17th is the beginning of era 2. So yeah, looking to make that auto compound again. I don't know if Bobby had some magical powers or what, but we've popped the gas fee bubble over the past couple of weeks, which timed perfect with everyone trying to compound their staking rewards. So we really worked on the timing there. And then a question that I missed earlier from Black113 is regarding the Great Harvest and rewarding early people. Any updates on the subject, or how we decide to end in the end on this issue? I'll start off and say I think we've had some great community feedback on this week, and I think the next step is kind of just aggregating all of that feedback we need to work to kind of aggregate all of that feedback and develop some type of a solution pathway forward and propose that and see if we can move forward. But I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to everyone that has contributed to the discussion. There's lots and lots of different things you can do. You can make it super complex if you want to, and you can make some really hard rules to define the eligibility and different allocations for the tokens from the harvest. I think the feedback from our own tech team is that we don't want to put too much. We don't want to divert our resources too much away from it by making something overly complex. We do want to kind of keep it straightforward. So yeah, I mean, my initial version was something really rigid, but there was a bit of pushback from that from both the community and from the tech team as well. So we need to work out something which is a good balance between being like relatively simple to implement and straightforward, so it's kind of clear for everybody, but also does the job, is also effective and keeps the kind of spirit of it. We essentially just want to have people compounding away during era 1 and find their way into a great position for era 2 and use that the great harvest as a way to distribute these buybacks, which are starting to happen. I mean, the kind of like the end vision of the protocol for the token holders is to be a decentralized fund manager, and you're earning a profit share of the vault revenue, right? So we want to kind of incentivize that behavior and incentivize that long-term outlook. So we really see the Great Harvest as a way, as a tool to do that, and quite an important one as well. So we do want to make sure we get it right. So if you have any more thoughts on it, please continue to talk on the forum, and we'll round up all the ideas and try and move it forward, essentially to a proposal that we can all kind of vote on and we can all agree on, so that there's no animosity as we get closer to the harvest.
Yeah, awesome stuff there, and really happy to see all of the community feedback that's come in. And just to kind of echo Bobby's point, is we want to make it, balance between the best possible solution and then also the simplest possible solution, to make sure that we're, allocating technical resources effectively and not, putting too much strain on the technical team trying to figure out a complex solution for this while trying to, build V3 and that, that portion of the project, which is obviously the keynote item. So looks like we got Money Mike coming with another question here, I think typing, and then we had somebody explaining that they're pretty excited for the link vaults, and I think we are too. I think Y-Axis is pretty strong ties to the link community, and just giving the link community a great place to deposit their link at attractive returns is a huge opportunity. So I will let Money Mike finish typing if they have a question, and then if anybody else has any other questions live, feel free to toss them in. Otherwise, we'll wrap this up for the week, and really appreciate everybody joining us, and hopefully you learned something new. I know I did with the Bitcoin Bridge partnership that Bobby mentioned. So always moving forward, and always looking to give you guys more insight into what's going on, and I think we have a lot of balls in the air right now, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this continues to evolve. P Chang, not sure what is being asked there by P Chang. Let's look to is there let's look to P Chang. I'll connect with you offline on that question, just so we could clarify a little bit more and get your question straightened out, and then I will respond in line with text, so everybody will be able to see it. So I'm not exactly sure on the question there, but we'll figure that out. Got a couple people typing. I will let them finish typing. Okay, just a good question here from Money Mike. Do we plan on building any products or services on top of the Y-Axis token, like maybe an IDO system, lottery system, prediction market, coin flip game? Smaller consumer products like this would bring a lot of daily volume to Y-Axis. This is sort of something similar to this. I'm not sure that fleshed out is kind of in the works, but I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Bobby.
We're looking at some sort of like an engagement tool, I guess, to bring people in and just kind of keep them active in the community. Something fun for everyone to do. But yeah, we weren't really looking to build like an NFT auction, like you said, on Telegram and stuff like that, because it's not really what we do. We're focused on building vaults for institutions, essentially. But yeah, we can look at lots of different ideas that you have, and we'll definitely consider them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, like Bobby said, looking to determine those engagement mechanisms and trying to make that an incorporation of the institutional offering of the vaults, but at the end of the day, focusing on the core product at the time. And then P-Chain kind of clarified the question to see. The question appears to be in regards to who is still eligible for the champions. I think the Great Harvest is the question, who's eligible. I think once we determine the eligibility mechanism, we can look at maybe Shadow can help hook us up with some sort of an analytics dashboard for who's kind of eligible and who met the eligibility requirement from the stakers perspective. So yeah, no, that makes sense. A great suggestion. And once we kind of lock in on the eligibility mechanism and make a proposal and that gets approved, then we can look at potentially trying to do a little bit of a dashboard there. And Oski Sean asked regarding the Ethereum Canonical Vault, are rewards paid in Ethereum and or Yaxis? And the rewards are in both. So yeah, like you said, the base yield is in the same asset. So we always look to give the base yield in the asset that you were depositing, and then there will be the Yaxis rewards on top. So with that, I think we've covered all the questions. After Benjamin Rubicon Finance stops typing, we will cut it off from there. So he will be the last question, and then anybody else connect with us offline. So we'll let them finish typing, and then that will finish it out for the questions. And Benjamin asked, am I correct in thinking that the Great Harvest is a one-time massive redistribution of the accumulated Yaxis via buybacks by the DAO? It's not necessarily going to be one time. I think it'll be kind of over the course of the era, but yes, absolutely. It'll be, the accumulated Yaxis that were bought back over the course of era 1 and looking to subsidize that with the treasury to really get you guys understanding the concept of the future cash flows against your token stack as a result of being, as the stakers, being the fund managers and seeking out the best strategies to drive that TVL and really managing the vaults effectively.
Yeah, I mean, the long-term goal is to transition to real-time buybacks. So a lot of people ask what happens when the emissions end, and that's one of the things that will happen, is that we're going to have real-time buybacks. So we want to build up the TVL as much as we can, and then over time we'll wind back the emissions on the staking pool, and they'll be replaced by direct buybacks and redistributions.
Absolutely. Alrighty, everyone. Appreciate your time today and all the great questions and all the great ideas and engagement, and we'll look to continue to try to put all these ideas together and continue the pathway forward. And then look out for the weekly Yaks dropping on Sunday again to go over the key points in the conversation. We'll make a recording available, and all of the above. Really looking to keep the train rolling here, and onward and upward. And it's been an exciting time, and can't wait to see what's ahead of us. And we'll see you on Your Herd next week. Take care, everyone.
Great. Thanks everyone.